Let's talk about gatekeeping certain parts of your personality. Now, this concept was actually introduced a couple of months ago, I think. I started seeing it on TikTok where people were like, yeah, like you got to gatekeep certain parts of your personality. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like basically putting certain parts of your personality in buckets and keeping certain parts of your personality exclusive to certain people. So basically gatekeeping parts of your personality. So it's okay if not everyone gets the same experience with you because you're gatekeeping certain parts of yourself or particular people. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So let's talk about gatekeeping certain parts of your personality for an overall abundant life. A lot of people sometimes complain and say, Mel, I don't know. I feel like I give so much away and I get so little back. Or I feel like when I went to the workplace, I was all jolly and happy and willing to help all of my colleagues. And, they still, got together to get me fired. Or I feel like I divulged and revealed too much of myself to a particular person. And I always tell them, first of all, don't feel bad. We're not going to beat ourselves up about our mistakes. We're going to look at our mistakes and we're going to put the necessary changes to do better. And I told her, I think that you should start gatekeeping certain parts of your personality. The vetting process does not just apply to dating. Vetting does not just apply to boyfriend and girlfriend and romantic relationships. Vetting also applies to people. And when you vet people, you have to vet and qualify. What category are you vetting and qualifying them to be a part of? And if you feel like this is a genuinely good person and they're genuinely kind, then you can stop gatekeeping that warm part of your personality and give them access to that. But that's up to you to vet and qualify where you would categorize that person. So when it comes to my family, they get, the warm Mel. They get the Mel that's super helpful. They get the Mel that's willing to sacrifice. They get the Mel that's ready to jump in and do what's not necessary to hold everybody together. They get the Mel that's like, hey, like you have an ideal, let's go for it. But I'm not like that way with everybody though. Because I know that if I'm that way, if that gets into the hands of the wrong person, I will get taken advantage of. So I gatekeep parts of myself. I gatekeep parts of my personality. I gatekeep how much of myself I give to people, and I gatekeep what I give to people. So not everyone has to have the exact same experience with you as a person overall. Like you are allowed to gatekeep parts of your personality, and you're allowed to gatekeep what parts of yourself that you give away. Now, there are going to be certain people that are going to try and, get that gate open or get the part of you that you are, keeping away or preserving or reserving for a particular category of an individual. But then that's when your boundaries come into place. Now your boundaries come into place and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to give you that because I don't feel like you're qualified to have that. So for example, if you're a giver, right? You're a giver and you gatekeep that part of yourself, right? Like you're like, okay, this person's a good person. They're genuine. They're authentic. I'm going to give to them. I'm going to help them. And then you meet this person that is a certified user. Like this person uses people. They take advantage of people. They take people's kindness for granted. Are you going to give them that same generosity? No, they don't deserve it. They don't get it. They don't qualify for it. So because if you give it to them, they're going to take advantage of you and they're going to manipulate you and they're going to take it to the extreme. So you have to be very, very careful and very, very cautious with the parts of your personality that you allow people to experience. This is also very popular with women in dating. That nurturing, warm version of you, that you need to gatekeep that feminine energy. That's not something that you give to any old guy that you just sit down and have dinner with and you're starting to nurture him and now you're giving him access to all these feminine perks. Like, no. Is he qualified? Is he a good guy? Does he genuinely care about you? Is he honest? Is he generous? Like, why are you coming in hot with this feminine energy and support to give him that ego boost and fuel that he needs when he doesn't even deserve it? So you have to gatekeep parts of your personality for particular people that you have vetted and qualified. You also have to learn how to put people in buckets, meaning this is the bucket where I'll sacrifice anything for these people. I'll go the extra mile for these people. I'll put my life on the line for these people. That's one bucket. And then you have another bucket where it's like, this person, yeah, I can help a little bit, but I have my limits with them because they have a habit of wanting more from people while giving less. So that's another bucket. And then you have another bucket where it's like, I'm not helping these people out ever because they're just very bad. And every time I help them, they form a weapon against me. So they get nothing from me. Like, you have to put people in buckets. You have to classify them. You have to put them in, you have to rank people. There needs to be a ranking with how you deal with people, because if not everybody deserves the same quality and version of you. Some people, unfortunately, deserve the mean version of you. They deserve the no-nonsense version of you, because if you don't give them that version, then you're going to pay the price for that, right? And then some people are going to get the softer, sweeter, more understanding side of you. And it really all depends on the role and the part that that person is trying to play in your life. And ladies, please learn how to gatekeep your feminine energy. Do not forget, on January 25th, we have the class on feminine power. Feminine power and feminine energy is extremely potent. And if you place that feminine power and feminine energy in the hands of the wrong man, it's going to deplete you. And in this class, we're going to talk about feminine power, getting your power back, and ensuring that it doesn't fall into the hands of the wrong person. You have to gatekeep certain parts of your feminine energy. If you're on the first date with a guy, you don't need to be on his balcony, with his hands wrapped around you. He's all kissing on you. He's like touching your body and feeling on your body, and he's smelling your perfume, and, he's having access to squeeze you and feel that feminine energy on you. He doesn't deserve that. This is date number one. What qualifies him to have access to that beautiful, glorious energy that you have within you? Why does he deserve that? And we're going to talk about stuff like that in the feminine power class, because you have to gatekeep that part of you for a king. Okay? You have to gatekeep that part of you for someone that is coming to pour in, just like you're coming to pour. Because what's very popular, especially amongst men, is how men are always mentioning what they want to take from a woman, or what a woman can do for them. But they rarely ever mention how they're adding on to the woman's life. They're always talking about how a woman can add on to their life, but they're never talking about how they can add on to a woman's life. And that is how women's feminine power get depleted. It's so powerful. Why do you think some men just text women just to text them? They just want to be able to interact with you, because just a simple back and forth text message, you're giving him power. You're giving your power away just by going back and forth with text. Ladies, it's 2025. There's a lot of men's numbers that should be blocked off your phone, because they have no motion, they have no interest, they're not making any significant moves to be relevant in your life. Why do they want to keep texting you? It's an ego boost. They're not just texting you, they're texting 15 women, and they're just gathering energy from all 15 of them, right? So you got to guard your feminine power, and we're going to talk about this in the masterclass January 25th. It's in the description bar. Don't forget. So yes, definitely gatekeep certain parts of yourself for certain people. Gatekeep certain parts of yourself for certain relationships. Not everybody gets the same version of you. Of course, there's a standard version of yourself that everyone gets. But as far as the perks and the close proximity, that is not for everyone. And once you learn how to master gatekeeping certain parts of your personality, you'll be able to master your life and have a better overall life experience.